Hey, what's good, Deeper Ones? This is Deeper One. We got a little something that I wanted to go over with y'all. I made this post right here for those of you that are watching on my screen the other day, and I noticed it only got 19 likes, and I realized that these are advanced teachings. This is an advanced teaching that needs further explanation, and I'm being lazy and I don't feel like typing out any more than I already have. So I figured this video would help y'all get a little understanding. But I'm going to give you some background before I get into this. And we also going to go into another chart as well. The Hot Crazy Matrix. I know the fellas have heard of this. And ladies, y'all might have heard of this. It's kind of old, but it still applies today. I think the original video came out in 2015, but it still applies. If y'all hear this fan, this is my MacBook Pro acting like it's working real hard. I don't know why, because it ain't really working hard, but it thinks it is. So the fan is going. So if y'all hear this, I apologize. I don't feel like dealing with it. And I want to record this video, so we're going to do this damn thing right now. But let me go into a little background before we check these charts out. In my past podcasts and past IGTV videos and my past posts, lately I have really been talking a lot more about we'll say, personal development and male-female dynamics and power dynamics between men and women. I've been leaning more towards these discussions because as I continue to educate myself on men and women and relationships and continuing my education and my coaching, I have really learned a lot more. And I've also been listening to a gentleman who is a great teacher and actually is the source of this matrix we have in front of us on a show called The Business. And so, just in case anybody else is listening to that show too, I got to give my attribution because I don't want nobody out here trying to be like, oh, you stealing ideas and you stealing shit. So I'm saying this is where I got this from, and this is going to be my spin on it because this is how I do and what I do. Let me go down what I wrote in the post and the explanation. No, we're not going there yet. I need to give you the background. You see, ladies, a lot of ladies out here right now are really complaining a lot. And ladies, you're complaining a lot about dudes, ain't being shit. And a lot of you really have a sour attitude towards men. And from what I see is that attitude is not exactly going to get you the man that you would like. It's actually going to make it very much so more difficult. In addition, it will have you continue to attract the kind of men that you're talking about. The memes, you got to make the memes about these dudes all the time. You can just smell the anger and disdain for men. But the problem is, instead of you having this anger and disdain for the men that you choose and the men that are the type that you like, many of you insist on having this level of anger and disdain for all men. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to say it. It's probably going to hurt some feelings, but it is what it is. I see this as a major character flaw, and this is part of the reason why you may be having trouble attracting the kind of men you feel you deserve. Now, some of you may be attracting the men at your level, but you're just shooting higher than probably what you should, but that's a different conversation for another time. And so what I wanted to go over with this is this jerk axis matrix. Now, producer jerk axis matrix. And so what we have here, which is similar to the hot crazy matrix, is we have a matrix that's showing based on looks and money. So you've got looks here, money here. And just like the hot crazy matrix, the higher we go in looks, the higher we go in money, the higher we go into the areas in which the zone in which the type of male you want to date. And fellas, this goes over the type of male you may be, but also the type of male you aspire to be. And so what I am going into in my content is I want to help men and women understand the dynamic with one another. Help them get to know one another. Because what I'm finding out is a lot of women coming in on the comments on different posts that they disagree with and just spouting their anger and disparaging words against men because they're so fed up. But when challenged in regards to their role in their prior relationships, things tend to go left. And they tend to go left because, in my experience, in female friends that I know, former girlfriends, fiancés, etc., and women that I coach, is a lot of the time women have a hard time accepting responsibility and accountability for poor decision making. Let's be honest, ladies. You choose these men. Now, a lot of you will, try to convince me that you have been bamboozled by an award-winning Oscar, Emmy award-winning actor of a male, and you had no idea that any of whatever came was coming. I'm going to call ultimate bullshit on that, and I normally do, and I normally poke holes in that argument very quickly when they explain to me the things about this man, and I can see the red flags flying within the first 30 seconds of the story. Now, what this matrix is going to show, it's going to show a few things. And along with the hot crazy matrix, what we're really going to see is how we choose people is really based on actual science. And there was a study done at a couple universities it looks like in Europe. Now, I mean, if you want to go find it, you go find it. It's here. The studies are here. So, I don't want nobody trying to come at me with anecdotal opinions and things like that based on what I feel. No, we're not doing that. The science is there. Go find it. It ain't going to be my job to do your work to disprove your feelings comment. Now let's get with it. So what we have on the matrix is, hold on one second. Okay, what we have is on the jerk axis matrix, like I said, we have looks and money. Let's just be honest, power and money is really what's important to these ladies and who they would like to date. So this matrix is based upon that, and it has placed several types of men within that matrix. And as you see, as the numbers get higher, it places certain men in certain statuses, and we are going to go over those now. Now you might be asking, well, why is the gray area circled with 2 arrows? Well, when I posted this, it was to accent that most of you ladies date men in these 2 zones. This gray zone, we've got the girls' power zone, and I'll explain that in a minute. But in the gray zone, we have the chronically unemployed, the baby daddy, the user, the drug user, an Xbox addict, an unsigned rapper. This honestly is really where a lot of you ladies come from, this zone. This is the zone where your memes are coming from, where you're trying to tell a man how to love you correctly and telling them how to be a man, how to be relationship, ready, all of this stuff. A lot of your memes come from men in these departments, in these zones. You like them here, you're choosing them here. It's an atrocity. Now let's move over to the low power zone. Wait. No, we can't go there yet. So why you see girls' power zone there is, what that means is that these are men that you ladies can exhibit power over. When you got somebody unemployed, they gonna need you because they need you to be their foster mom and provide a roof over their head and food in their belly and all that. You got your baby daddy. You can exert power over him in child support court and hold his children over his head like some of you do. Your user, well, somebody's got to buy his weed, huh? Right? I guess it'd be you. And the Xbox, PS, PlayStation addict. I mean, somebody's got to buy them games and shit, right? That's you. So y'all choose a lot of these. Oh, and don't let me forget the unsigned rapper. Somebody has to be his support system. Somebody has to tell him his rhymes are lit. Somebody has to be his cheerleader. Somebody has to make him believe he can make it, even though he probably not going to make it. That's what you're there for. Now, the next zone is the low power zone. This zone, you got a little power, but not as much power. You got your dope boys and over minimum wage employees. Dope boy's got a little bit of money, but you still got to supplement, his lifestyle, because he ain't no Nino Brown or nothing like that. No El Chapo, he just making a little bit, maybe to buy some video games, maybe support his own habit. Then you got your over minimum wage employee. He out there working. He might be under careered, but he making a little money to do a few things for himself, but he ain't helping you pay half the rent. Then we got the alternate girl power zone. That's where the simps live. The simps are here. I shouldn't have to explain simps to you, but just in case, simps you can usually get to do a little bit extra for you because they're trying to get in them draws. They'll spend a little bit of money to get in them draws, and you can exert a level of power over those fellas because, well, they're simps and it's very easy. Then you got your player zone. Your player zone, players are dudes that date the kind of women that they want to date, and they got a lot of them around them. You ladies hate this zone, and you really hate this zone because you cannot control a player. A player will not allow you to control him in his zone, and he'll be like, well, he can replace you just like that because he's got his hoes everywhere, and you are easily replaceable. Period. But y'all kind of like them low key. Low key, y'all do kind of like to drop the draws for these fellas, but in your mind, you hate them, but you're still kind of attracted to them low key. Now here we have the male maximum power zone. Now this is the zone where the men that you aspire to be with live. This is where they live. Sorry, y'all. That's this app making that noise. Now, the maximum male power zone. This zone is where you've got your man in the green here. He's got a little bit of money. We'll say some motivation, some drive and determination, some looks. He's moving up. He's doing something. You can't exert any power over a male in this zone. Men in this zone are your producers, your builders, your men that's going to work, on the grind every day. These are the men that do not need your money or your support or anything in any manner. This is the guy you're not going to be able to run game on. This is the guy that you're not going to be able to run your attitude. You're not going to be able to run your mouth, as he will dismiss you very expeditiously. Now, the thing is, ladies, y'all say you want a man here, but the thing is a lot of you can't handle a man here when you get one, because a man here is not about that bullshit. You're just not. And so a lot of you find that to be intimidating. Now, you say you don't, but I've heard this story over and over and over again. You end up finding out later that you're intimidated. But those of you will say that's maybe a little bit more on the outgoing, maybe more feminine end of things, love men in this zone because they know what men in this zone have to offer, and they know if they dial into his program that they will be rewarded handsomely for that. Now, let's dial back to the girls' power zone. Now, in these other zones, maybe except for the player zone, okay? Maybe except for the player zone. These dudes, I'll probably even add maybe like you got a couple moist dudes in here. These are these new kind of dudes. Like, I don't get these new dudes. I don't get them. They just operating from there's a lot of masculinity missing with dudes in some of these other zones. Maybe except for the player zone. Okay, maybe except for that. You see, the dudes that are not in the green zone, these are kind of really where most of the dudes live that you ladies are associated with currently. And a man in the maximum male power zone has high standards and expectations. And this can be difficult for some because, let's just be honest, ladies, you are used to setting standards and expectations, and you are not used to a man having them. You say you may want a man with them, but then you kind of really don't. And why I say that is a lot of the times when a man gives his standards and expectations, some women will back off, see that as intimidating, and actually kind of feel some kind of way about themselves if they feel that they don't meet some of these standards and expectations. Sometimes they back off. Sometimes they become problematic disciplinary problems. And these guys do not have that. They're not going to have that. But if you're looking for the good dude, the good dude is going to be in the maximum male power zone. That's why the color of his green. That's why it's green light. This is where he's going to be. But the thing is there's a certain level of adjustment that some of you ladies need to make to land a male in this zone. And where a lot of you get caught up and hung up is in exhibiting some of these requirements and needs of the man in this zone. I hear it every day. I hear it every single day. And what is happening is that later in life, a lot of women are finding out that As they get older, they become less desirable by men in the zone, because men in the zone typically want younger, more attractive women, and they have higher standards for these women, and it can be a problem for some of you in meeting that. But this is where you want to be. This is the man that you want to be. You guys say it every day. This is where a lot of men are. But the thing is you got to understand there's a level of sacrifice with a man in this zone, because a man in this zone is generally going to be a very busy individual. Like I said, you have to plug into his program. He is not going to plug into yours. He's not going to plug into yours. So if you're the kind of person that you want a man that can easily fit into your life like a puzzle piece, then the fellas in these areas, except for the player, will be perfect for you. And maybe that's part of the reason why you kind of stick to men here, because a lot of these men need you in some kind of way. They need you to be a foster mother, so they need a place to live, so they can be very flexible in their life, because let's just be honest, they're not really doing much. So it's easy for them to plug into your program instead of you plugging into theirs, because they ain't really got one. So you kind of hang out here because many of you don't want to make any sacrifices or be flexible for various reasons. And I'm not going to go into that because that'll make this video long as hell, and we got to move on. So why this is called the jerk, and that's where we're getting into now. Why this is called the producer jerk axis is because, as you see, the way the axis is laid out, that the more... Now, when I explained this, I kind of fucked up. The axis goes up. The higher this number is, the more jerk they are. The more money they make. You see how these correlate? So generally, as a man gets more into this zone, he becomes more of a jerk. And the reason is because he can. He can. Because at this point, the world is his oyster. He has options. And when a man has options, homeboy is going to act up. And that is why some of you have an issue. You find it difficult once you get a man in this zone. It's difficult to stay with him, because you may have come from men here and you are used to having this, but he is not going to allow you to have this. And either you end up dismissing him because of that, or he ends up dismissing you because of that. Because generally, women that exhibit this to a high level from a fella here sees you as a disciplinary problem, and men don't have time for disciplinary problems. They don't have time to argue. They don't have time for attitude. They don't have time for any type of selfish needs or anything like that. And they have options, so they will dismiss you with the quickness if they have to. It is what it is. I know some of this y'all probably don't like to hear, but it is what it is. It's facts. You have to live with it. If you want a man that gets higher and gets up in here, you're going to have to deal with him being a little bit of an asshole. Period. Some of y'all like that, though. Some of y'all like that. You get a little bit attracted to that, because a lot of the dudes over here are exhibiting moist qualities. A lot of moist dudes in these zones over here. A lot of estrogen in these new dudes, and a lot of complaining and softness, and oh God, I don't know. I just don't know what happened to these dudes. So that explains the producer jerk matrix. The more a man produces and is successful and making his money, the more options he has. He's more likely to be a jerk because he can. But this is the man that many of you women aspire to be with, because he is going to have resources. If you remember a few posts back, I talk about a man being resourceful. This is the man that's going to be resourceful, okay? This is the man that's going to take you shopping. that's gonna get you that Gucci bag, that Michael Kors bag, you know, them shoes, that perfume. The man here is going to do that. Now, don't get it twisted. The simp is going to spend a little bit of money. He going to spend a little bit. You know, he probably going to take you to Taco Bell, you know, Chick-fil-A, you know, maybe Burlington Coat Factory, Marshalls. He going to get you a little something, but he ain't going to get you the money that over here. Players ain't going to buy you shit, so get over it. And the men over here generally going to be too broke to really buy you anything, and more or less, because you have the power, you will be buying them stuff and taking them out to eat and buying them clothes, and they will be standing behind you at the register because you've got the power and the money. That's just the way that goes. So that is the maximum male power zone. And fellas, this is where you want to be. This is where you want to aspire to be in life. Here. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be in any of these places. Now, I'm going to lie. It's kind of cool being here. I mean, I've been here before, but I've been here too. And shit, I ain't never been here. I ain't never been no simp. You can forget that. But, you know, I've been here. Fuck it. I've been here too. I've been all these except for here. We ain't ever simping. I'm not doing that. Nope. So, this is where you want to be, guys. This is kind of where in this zone you got your shit together. As you see homeboys wearing a suit, you got your shit together. You getting there. You're building a business. You're trying to move up in your job. You got a little bit of resources. You got your own place. You got your own vehicle. You got the basics down, because God knows now it seems like the basics is advanced with these new moist dudes out here. But this is where you want to be. It's where you want to be. That was the producer Jerk Makers. Now let's go on. Ladies, now y'all can stand to learn something from here. Fellas might be familiar with this, but we're gonna hit it again. And here we go. Now, this is called the Universal Hot Crazy Matrix. I said it wrong before. This is the first time I've actually seen this particular chart. I normally prefer to just watch it in the explanation on the video, but I wasn't sure whether I would enter some copyright if I just posted the video for y'all to watch. I might post a link. I might not. Probably not. But, I guess I could play the video. I didn't even think of that. Instead of letting y'all watch it. Now, let's give you the Barney from How I Met Your Mother's explanation of Hot Crazy. Take a listen.
Let me illustrate. A girl is allowed to be crazy as long as she is equally hot. Thus, if she's this crazy, she has to be this hot. If she's this crazy, she has to be this hot. You want the girl to be above this line, also known as the Vicky Mendoza diagonal.
This line. This is the Hot Crazy line.
With that line, she'd shave her head and lose 10 pounds. If she'd stab me with a fork, then get a blowjob. I should give her a call.
That's this line. That's this line he's talking about. Now, let me go and I don't think the video's on this particular one. So sorry, y'all. My sound is trash on this. On my laptop, it's not even. It just doesn't sound good. So let me. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone here because it'll be a lot louder for y'all to listen to. All right. All right. Okay. It's kind of it's kind of a long video, but I think it's a good representation, and I think a lot of you ladies really could stand listening to this, because this is going to tell us a lot of information that you probably don't know about how we see you. Let's go. We gotta play through the. Okay.
Response, and I got the terrorist mouthpiece with me. This is
All right.
Go introduce yourself. I'm Dana McClendon. I am the consigliere to the Camden Mafia and the terrorist mouthpiece.
But what are we going to talk about? What are you going to talk about today?
Today's lesson it's a little off the beaten path of tactical response, but it's still something that you can use every day. This is the hot, crazy matrix. It's what you need to know about
Just
how to
look
deal
at
with
the.
women.
He's going to put it on a chart when he draws it on a whiteboard, but you have the picture here for your
Let's
view.
take a look at that right now.
Okay, so this is the universal hot, crazy matrix. It's everything a young man needs to know about women. I've developed this on my own over 46 years of living on the earth. So this is how it works. You have your crazy axis and your hot axis. Hot is, as usual, measured from 0 to 10. We're all familiar with that. Crazy is measured from 4 to 10 because, of course, there's no such thing as a woman who's not at least a 4 crazy. So you got 4 to 10. This is your hot, crazy line.
Don't come in my comments
right
talking
here.
shit.
Very
He made it
important
up.
that you keep
Y'all
in
find
mind
him on
where the
YouTube and
hot,
talk
crazy
shit to
line
him.
is. As a rule, this is your no-go zone. We do not hang around and date and marry women who are not, at least in our mind, a 5. So this is your no-go zone. You don't go here. We just rule this out. Life is better this way. That's the way it is. All right. Above a 5 and to about an 8 and below the crazy line, this is your fun zone. You can hang out here and meet these girls and spend time with them. That's your fun zone. But keep in mind, when you're in the fun zone, you want to move out of the fun zone to a more permanent location. Okay? So that's the fun zone. Above a 5, hot. Below an 8, hot. And below the crazy line. This means these are, most of the time, not crazy. Okay? Above the danger zone, above the crazy line, we have the danger zone. This is your redheads, your strippers, anyone named Tiffany. This is hairdressers. This is where your car gets keyed. You get a bunny in the pot. Your tires get slashed, and you wind up in jail. Now that we have some of the chart filled in, we got a couple more pieces to put in. But at this point, understand something. This is not a static environment. This is a situation where you have got to use this matrix over time to develop some reliable data. It's like a dope chart, okay? Because at any moment in time, any woman that you have previously located on this chart can vanish from that location and appear anywhere else on the chart. So what you have to do is, over time, collect some data. And once you have a cluster of data points, you can begin to consider that reliable. Now, moving on, you have this zone here. This is below the crazy line, above an 8 hot, but still, about a 7 crazy. This is your date zone. You can stay in the date zone indefinitely. These are women that you introduce to your friends and your family. They're good looking and they're reasonably not crazy most of the time. Okay, so you can stay here indefinitely. Now, above an 8 hot and between about a 7 and a 5 crazy, this is your wife zone. Okay, when you meet this girl, you should consider a long-term relationship. This zone is not scaled to size. This is a representation and not an actual. This is not a pie chart showing you how many of these people are out there. This is simply a representation of what you're after. You want to be 5 to 7 crazy, above an 8 hot. That's your wife zone. Okay. Now, below a 5 crazy and above an 8 hot, this is your unicorn zone. These things don't exist. If you find a unicorn, please capture it safely, keep it alive. We'd like to study it and maybe look at how to replicate that, okay? So I was explaining this to a guy one time, and he said, wait a minute. I met this girl, and she's like smoking hot. She's like at least a 9, and she's chill. She's totally cool. She's like not even a 3 crazy. I said, you're telling me you've met a girl, she's a 9 hot, and she's like a 2 or a 3 crazy? He said, yeah, man, I like her a lot. I said, you should be careful. That's a dude. You're talking to a tranny. So you got to be careful, because down here below a 4 crazy and above an 8 hot, you're probably talking to a dude. That is the universal hot crazy matrix.
All right, Dana, that was pretty good. Now, let me ask you, like, for the women watching, is there a male version of that? I mean, would it also be?
Oh yeah, it's a little simpler.
If a dude is super hot, okay.
Yeah, it's a little simpler, but we can do it real quick. It doesn't take very long at all. For women, this is your matrix. You got your cute axis, and you got your money axis. Okay, and if you have, there's only 3 sections. Women have a very large no-go zone. This is for dudes who are neither hot nor have a lot of money. You'll notice over here, this is the husband section. Once you cross a line and have sufficient amounts of money, it is no longer relevant how hot you are. And then women have a fun zone here where a dude is broke but hot. that is the cute versus rich matrix for women.
There you go.
There it is, y'all. See, y'all got one. You see how short that was? How it literally took them less than 30 seconds to talk about our zone, but it's true. And I didn't post the video because that chart you can barely see, and I couldn't find that one online. So this is what we go by. I mean, this is very representative of how we choose you, ladies. It really is. I mean, ask any guy, he'll be able to tell you. Now, a lot of ladies find issue with this, and I've noticed a lot of pushback on some of the posts that I make talking about looks. And I made this video earlier where I went off on somebody because they tried to fight me on this particular topic. And I'm just going to say, ladies, I mean, this is all fun and it's in light fun or whatever. So don't be coming to me in my comments and your feelings, because I'm just going to delete them like you never made a comment. But it's all in light fun. But there's truth to this. You know, I've been listening to somebody, and in the past, I've always said men are visual creatures. We're visual creatures. And someone told me that no, men are not visual creatures. Men are physical creatures. And I realized that this makes a lot of sense. Because when we look at things, when we look at anything, we look at to see as to what can it do for us? How does it work? You know, we're very utilitarian. We like to analyze things. We want to look to see how it's going to benefit us. You know, weigh the pros and cons. If it is or isn't, you know, do we keep it or throw it away? You know, how we can take it apart, put it back together. That's how we view a lot of things in the world. And with women, that's what we're analyzing when we're trying to get to know you and date you, is what we're looking at. What is it that you are going to be able to do for us for what we want from you? That's it. And if you don't fit or you don't meet any of that, then we don't move you to this zone and this zone. We're going to keep you in this zone. Now, a lot of people that get upset about this matrix and how males are wired are over in this zone. Y'all are in this zone. Right here, right here, right here, right here. And everything. Because it's showing that you don't have a solid understanding of men. And you want to turn men basically into women. Because you want men to think like you. You want men to choose mates like how you do. You basically want you in male form, and that's not how any of this works. How none of it works. Now, like I said, this is all in good fun and everything, but there is truth to it. I try to stay out of the no-go zone. I've had some danger zones. I've actually had quite a few. But, you know, a lot of fun zones. A lot of fun. There are a lot of people I have fun with that couldn't move to a permanent zone. They couldn't move here or move there. They just... Usually, let me break it down. If you are here and here, all right? If you here, we don't see you anyway. You ain't moving nowhere. You're staying here. You're never moving out of this zone. You can never go from no-go zone to here. That's not how the chart works. Now, you can move all around here and move around, and you can be plopped back over here. But if you over here, you ain't coming over here. Women that here, sometimes they can't. I've had them try to move there. And y'all be trying to move around. But usually, if you are generally 8 crazy and above, you're generally not going to move to date zone or wipe zone. Because you're a liability. You're going to be a liability. You are going to be a disciplinary problem if you are over crazy, 8 crazy. I mean, I don't really care how fine you are. It's going to be hard for you to get here. Now, if you're in unicorn land, which means, you know, you're under 8 crazy, but 9, no, I don't know, maybe. But you're over 8 crazy, you're never getting over here. You're never getting here. Period. And that's the thing, and that's one of the differences between men and women, because ladies, you will entertain dudes all over here. All in these zones. And then you let them use you, abuse you. You have kids by them. Now you a baby mama. You know, you're not getting child support. It's just y'all entertain dudes all in these zones. And what I'm discovering in the women that I'm coaching is that a lot of women end up keeping guys in these zones because the guys in this zone intimidate them the most. The guys in this zone don't allow the bullshit. And the problem is some women who are self-proclaimed feminists, in which one I had a heated conversation with yesterday, really could not handle a man in this zone because he is not subscribed to the feminist woman. They just won't work. They'll clash. So, you know, feminist women generally keep men here because they can leverage power over them because of their social status here. But these men don't. And so, but generally these men here have a lot of what women are looking for, which is mostly to be provided for, protected, and offered security and stability. Whereas none of that is offered over here. Over here, it's sex, bubblegum, chilling, drinking, smoking, whatever. But what is a woman is driven from a man, and this is hypergamy. Women want hypergamy. Men want you to be hot. It's how you're wired. It's just how you're wired. Men want very good looking, attractive women. And women want men who can provide and protect. And as we just heard in the video, if you have that ability, your affinity for looks can be compromised because you're getting those needs that are most important to you met. Whereas men generally are not as compromising when it comes to looks. unless they're here. As you'll find, these guys don't have as many options as these men. Now, these guys, they got options of women at their level and below their level. They got all kinds of options for them. You know, there's plenty of that if you're just trying to get laid. But if you're trying to get married and you're trying to have a producer or a builder, your producers and your builders are here. They're here. And these men have high expectations, high standards. And you gotta come correct with these men. These men will let you walk out the house looking crazy. These men don't care if you rocking buns and oversized hoodies and pajamas to Target. These men don't take into account that you represent them. These men too. And they want the best representation because, ladies, you need to understand something that I don't think a lot of you understand. The woman on the man's side tells a lot about the man and who he is. And a man will be judged by his peers, by his co-workers, in his job, by the woman that is on his side. And men here want to be represented well, and they understand that you are his representative, and he wants you to represent him well. These men don't care. As a matter of fact, most of these men don't even want you out like that because probably some of them got side bitches anyway. So you need to be a little bit more low key over here. You can't be all out there like that. But this man is going to have you all out there because this man is going to pluck you into his world, into his program, and everything in it, and the people in it, and is going to want to show you off, and is going to want to show people that you are the business. So you have to come correct. You have to be on point. And if you're normally not a woman that's on point, it will be difficult to find a man and maintain a man in this zone. Now, some of you will be like, oh, I can get a man in that zone. But the thing is can you keep a man in that zone? And generally, these men here are not moved by sex, and they don't make decisions based on getting sex like these men do. That's the difference. That's the difference. So that's explaining this meme. I hope more y'all got it, y'all understood, because you need to understand the dynamics of men and women. Women, you need to understand male dynamics. Women, you need to understand female dynamics in order for you to be able to date a little bit more successfully. Because let's be honest, what you're doing right now ain't even working. And from a lot of the crap that I hear being spouted from a lot of people's mouths, it is clearly evident that they have no idea what the type of person that they wants. So let me clear that, because that sounded like a lot. If you know you out here looking and you have a type of person, you need to know what that type of man wants, and if you are the best representation of the type of man or woman that man wants. You need to know what he wants, and you need to know if you fit it. And if you don't fit it and you want a man in that zone, then you need to do what you need to do to make yourself an available option to a man in that zone. Period. Otherwise, you can go back down to the dudes over here that will let you be whatever, do whatever, because they don't care, because you taking care of them, you fostering them, and you giving them that good vajayjay, and that's all they care about. Easy work, right? Easy work. But what you find out, you get what you pay for. What you find out is you end up with one of them, or one of them, or one of them, and you just keep getting them. And ladies, you are sacrificing having a good man who's going to celebrate you and represent you and take care of you for dudes over here so you can have girl power, so you can be running shit. But what women are finding out later is that doesn't pay off. And that's what's up with that. So that was the Universal Hot Crazy Matrix, y'all, and the producer Jerk Matrix. I hope I gave y'all a good enough explanation on that. Hit me in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. A good one. Don't come in my post in your feelings. Because lately, too many of y'all coming in your feelings, and I'm just deleting posts. Because actually, you know what? I let them stay. And then I delete them later, depending on how out of pocket you get. But one of the reasons I let them stay is because when someone comes on a post and they are acting a fool, they are proving my very point when they're acting a fool. They are showing everybody that this is a person that's not dateable because they are so in their feelings and they're angry and they're acting out, and it's showing that they need therapy and they would not be a good person to date because their wild ass comments puts them in this zone right here. Highest in the crazy in this zone. Don't be that one. It ain't a good look. It ain't cute. Just don't be that one. But that was it, y'all. Look forward to the drop of the new renamed, revamped podcast coming soon. The Into Deep podcast. Oh, well, it's not going to be called a podcast anymore. I'm calling it show. The Into Deep show. I'll be doing more of these type of videos, explaining some of these memes and having conversations so we can get a better understanding. This is the Deeper One. Thank you, and I am out.